Hello, friends, Gary Goyles and fellow poets. Welcome back to Conversing with Poets. Yes, the background is a little bit different. We got really bad winds here, uh, where I am. A storm is coming in yet again. So, as we've been having issues with Wi-Fi the last couple of streams, and with the storm going on, I thought it might be a good idea to just do it um, from my room, from my bedroom, which feels really, really weird because I've never streamed from my room before, and uh, yeah, it doesn't. It feels a little bit odd. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. My little buddy here, my little buddy who hasn't been on the channel since he was just a little, just a little boy. He's next to me. Um, Yeah, can you hear me? Hello, Nikki. Hello, Tanya. Can you love what you've done with the shed? Yeah, thanks. It's it's expanded. Yeah. Can you guys hear me okay? I hope you can hear me okay. Because I didn't want to take my arm, my microphone arm from out of the shed. The lighting is super bad. I'm using I'm using my on-camera light that I normally use for my videos, so the lighting's really bad. I apologize. But I'd rather us have a good, healthy stream. Harry's looking at me like, who are you talking to? Who's Daddy talking to? I'd rather us have a nice, healthy stream for this evening. Um, so yeah. Hey Tanya. Hey Nikki. Tanya, I hope you are mending well. I hope you're mending well. Check out the subscriber count as well, guys. We are climbing and climbing and climbing. We're on 673 already. I know, actually, I think everyone here has been sharing the channel, so thank you so much. I know, Nikki, you shared our live streams on your Instagram. Tanya, I know you said you shared us with someone else. I know that BB shared the live stream. So thank you so much for sharing the channel. We're absolutely soaring with subscribers. It's all good. You're channeling those vlogger vibes, those naughties vlogger vibes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It feels odd. It feels very strange. But here we are. And Harry's gotten used to me just see what he thinks I'm just talking to the wall. But I see the orthopedic doctor tomorrow for additional x-rays on my wrist. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. So I do come prepared this evening. I have two topics. In part one, we're going to talk about, is a poem ever truly finished? Can a poem end? Can a poem end? But before we get into discussion, as always, let's get those likes up. Let's hit those 5 likes. This feels so weird. I can't even tell you guys how weird this feels to be doing this in my bedroom. It doesn't feel right. I don't know. The shed is my space, right? The shed is my creative space. I've filmed all my videos there. Literally all my videos, all my live streams have been in the shed. So that's my safe space. I feel comfortable doing it there. Here it feels weird. Hey, Garage Poets. Good afternoon, poets. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on when you're watching this. Um, Especially on playback as well. So, okay, we've hit 5 likes. We've hit 5 likes, Harry. So we're ready to get into the conversation. So, yes, I saw this. I saw this on a blog. Can a poem end? What do you guys think? Can a poem end? Now, of course, technically speaking, a poem ends when the poet decides that the poem is finished and walks away. But can a poem end? It got me thinking. The question was posed, can a poem end? And it got me thinking, and I suppose, does a poem really end if the poem leaves the reader asking questions and then goes on and starts asking questions? What if the poet keeps thinking about the poem and one poem leads to another poem? I don't know. Is this a good discussion topic? I don't know. I feel so I feel so weird doing it in my bedroom. But what do you guys think? Can a poem truly end? Can a poem truly end? Thank you so much for that heart, whoever just sent that heart in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, they keep going. Thank you so much. Yeah, the last time Harry was on the channel, he was literally about that big, I think, with his little ears. He's not quite fully grown, but he's definitely, I would say he's in his early 20s in human years. I think you can edit your work forever, yeah, but there comes a point where continuing to edit changes from its initial intention or loses the emotion. Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. I think kind of I didn't read too much of the blog post. Probably should have done that. But I think if a poem poses a question or inspires something inside someone, then does that sort of excuse me, I'm so out of it right now. I'm so like not in my usual creative bubble. Um if it poses a question in someone or poses or inspires another poem, is it can it end? My poems sometimes are a few pages long, but I think they do find a conclusion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You look so cozy. That's a great setting. It feels super weird. It feels super weird doing it in my room. But hello, BB. Welcome to the stream. As you missed it, we are expecting another storm. The UK is being hit by some crazy weather at the moment, and I figured rather than dealing with a Wi-Fi issue, I would just change the setting, but it doesn't feel right streaming from my room. Also, the light is not massively flattering. I am using my on-camera light just down here because it's the only place I can fit it. Um, I can't even bounce it off of anything because everything is dark. Oh God, now it won't stand up. There we go. That'll do. I finally made one of these, Adam. Welcome, welcome, Todd Jackson. Thank you for joining us. Let me just catch up on the chat. Hi, all you beautiful people. Hi, BB. My poems, yep. You look so cozy, yep. It's not easy to know when to step away. No, so as I say, you can definitely over edit a poem for sure. And you can definitely reach a rational uh, conclusion to a poem. But then if it's something that always stays with you, is it really ever finished? I don't know. I probably should have seen what was said in the blog post. At the time, it felt like a really good topic for discussion. But when you stop and put it out into the world, it's no longer about what you intended 100% really. Ah, it's about what the reader gets from it. And that will keep evolving too. Absolutely. Finally warming up in North Carolina. Our end of the lake is a bit frozen. Yeah, yeah. We had the floods, and then we had last week, or this week, should I say, has been super cold, so it all froze over, and now it's really windy. I think up north in the UK had crazy snow this week as well, so we got lucky down south in London. Perhaps it's like an echo. Oh, I like that. Perhaps it's like an echo or a relay pattern. I like the idea of the poem being an echo for sure. It's very cold and frozen here in Massachusetts. Have you got a lot of snow? I feel like America gets a lot of snow. I suppose it depends where you are in America. But I visited Duluth in Minnesota once, and overnight, I've never seen so much snow in my life. Overnight, gosh, it was up to my knees. It was crazy over in one night. If the UK just gets a couple inches of snow, that's it. The country shuts down. I bet GP, you guys get a lot of snow and cold weather. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. What is happening? I know. I feel all out of sorts, Nikki. I feel all out of sorts. Adam is indoors and drinking from a can, not a cup of coffee. What is happening? It's the multiverse. We've entered a different universe, guys. This is an alternate timeline. Yeah, I did have a coffee. And then I thought, nah, it's too late for a coffee. I don't want a coffee because I have like really strong coffee. So yeah, we're this is the alternate version. Wow, yeah, the wind is really picking up. You guys probably won't hear that. I doubt the mic will pick that up. But the wind is definitely whistling outside. Oh, by the way, guys, I wrote my poem, and I have it here next to me. The poem I posted on my community tab at the start of the week or last weekend finally has a full a first draft. It's complete waffle. I just wanted to get something on the page, to be honest. Gary is glitching. We got snow, but not a lot. It rained, which washed out the snow. Then the cold air made everything freeze. Yeah, you got to be careful of that ice on the road, especially if it's like a thin layer when you're driving. So do be careful. If you're just popping in, hello. We're talking about can a poem truly end? At least in part one, we're talking about can a poem really end? And I guess the inspiration of that thought was although a poem can hit a rational end, if it inspires a poem, then has the poem really ended? Um, Stuff like that. Have you tried Death Wish coffee? It's strong. I haven't. I've never heard of that. It sounds strong. It sounds strong. It's like the Into the Spider-Verse, but the Atomverse. Yes, yeah, yeah. Welcome into the Atomverse. This is alternate 2.0 version, where you even get Harry as well, who's just kind of gotten used to the fact that I'm just talking at the wall. But yeah, if you're just joining us, don't forget to hit that like button, guys, that we got to try and hit 10 likes by the end of part one. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. And we always love to see new faces. I know Todd is here. Welcome, Todd. We always like to see new faces. So do feel free to get involved in the chat. If you don't feel comfortable and you'd rather watch, that's totally okay too. But I do encourage you to get involved in the chat. I haven't said my whole like intro about politics and keeping it respectful in a while. As always, keep it respectful. We always do. Like, we got a great bunch of people here in the chat. We always do. Uh, and we don't talk politics. Although sometimes I myself break that rule. But yeah, it just feels totally weird. Totally weird. Perhaps it's less the poem itself and more the energy or soul of a poem that continues. Yeah, I think okay, it's not the candle that makes me yawn then. It's just me being an old fart and tired all the time. To be fair, even on weekends, even on my days off, I wake up at 4:30. Today I woke up at 4:30, but then I fell back to sleep and woke up at 5:30. But yeah, I like that. I think that's definitely more the case, isn't it, BB? I think a poem can end. Technically, the poem can end, but the soul and the energy of a poem can continue and inspire something else, and then there's a chain reaction. BB, right? Like universal themes. Yeah, yeah, of course. I don't think there's anything I missed in the chat, is there? No. I managed to remember to switch over to live chat this time instead of keeping it on top chat. A professor of mine once said it was important to attend the silence. Oh gosh, I'm so bad. Sorry. A professor of mine once said it was important to attend to the silence that precedes the poem. I like that. I like that. Maybe one should attend to the silence that follows it as well. Wow, thank you, Todd. First live stream and what a contribution. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, that's great. That's a good professor you had. I like that. Attend to the silence that precedes the poem, and also attend to the silence that proceeds the poem. Oh my, Death Wish coffee is tasty. Oh, okay, definitely will give you a caffeine buzz. I've never heard of it. Okay. Death Wish coffee. I've never heard of it, but I will seek it out. Yes. What do we think that attending to the silence means? I think for me, my first sort of reaction to it, my first thought would be, and this is something I subscribe to in life anyway. Um, I think would be sitting with it and allowing yourself to kind of feel what needs to be felt. Sitting with the silence that precedes a poem. Sitting with the emotion that you might be feeling, though that might not necessarily be silence. I guess I'm thinking of the silence before a poem is not necessarily literally the silence, but the moments leading up to it, the contemplation of the poem, I guess. So, for example, we could use this poem right here that I wrote today, but I had the idea for it, and I didn't do this consciously, of course, as you guys know, if you follow my community thing. But I thought of the idea of the poem. I had the title of the poem. I knew what the poem was going to be about. But I kind of, I again, not consciously. I wanted to write it, but I never did. But allowing myself that time, that 2 days that have the 2 days that have just passed, to kind of just know that I want to write this poem, and um just let it fester, I guess. But then is that attending to the silence? I'm not sure. Likewise, attending to the silence after the poem, I guess, is you've written the poem and you just let it be and just know that it's there, but you don't forget about the poem. You don't forget about the subject of the poem. You just let it be. It's just there. I guess that's kind of my first reaction to it. I wonder if the pause gives it an opportunity to become what it is. That's a nice thought. Yeah, I like that thought. Instead of creating immediacy and what I may need it to be, I really love this concept. I talk too much. No, you don't talk too much at all. You don't talk too much at all, silly. That's what this series is called, Conversing with Poets. It would be very difficult. It would be very difficult if it was just me literally talking to the wall, which is what Harry thinks I'm doing right now anyway. And do you know what? He accepts it. He accepts that his dad just talks to the wall. No problem. As long as he's next to me, he's happy. 7 likes. Thank you so much, guys. If we can get to 10 before the end of part one, that would be great. That's always our target. Adam, what if you caved to the comfy and crawled under the covers and did the live stream from there? I'm just about getting comfortable doing it here. Maybe if you talk too much, then there's no hope for the likes of me. I love your insights. You guys are crazy. You guys do not talk too much. That's the whole point of these live streams. If anything, it's me that talks too much because I have to keep talking constantly for 2 hours. So you can all blame me. Now I've gone quiet. Now I've gone quiet. 8 likes. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love yours so much, Tanya. Oh my gosh, I love yours so much, Tanya. What did I miss? I'm drinking Death Wish now. Nice. I think I missed Tanya's message. Oh my gosh, I love yours so much, Tanya. I'll never forget the one where you knew like every era of poetry, Tanya. I'm lost. I'm lost in the multiverse. Was that must have been in a different universe? Baby, you're talking about a different universe. You're talking about an alternate timeline. This Adam doesn't remember that. Her insights. Oh, okay. Oh, because okay. I'm so lost. I'm so lost, guys. But yes, Tanya is very wise. Tanya is very, very wise. The BB verse. Yeah. The BB verse. We're all on different timelines tonight. Timelines have collided tonight. We're all confused. We're all thrown by the change of scenery. It's just- One thing is consistent is the yawns. Yes, I know. I know. Do you want to say hello to everyone? Oh, big boy. As I say, the first time he was on the channel, he was like that big. Yes. Oh, yes, I know. I know. Crazy. Can you imagine how poetry would be in the multiverse? Can you imagine how poetry would be in the multiverse? Could you imagine maybe we wrote backwards? Maybe words were spelled backwards. Oh, okay. You're gonna sit down there and look up at me. That's okay. He's just the cutest thing. He's a devil. He's still a devil. He is still a monster, aren't you, little monster? Yeah. Yeah. I love Nikki, you've got some spaniels as well, right, that you've been posting on your stories. I love the little jumper you put them in. I think we need a dose of Harry on every stream. Well, he goes crazy. I've tried to let him into the shed a couple of times just to sit with me while I work, and he just goes crazy in there. He just is not big enough for his little wagging tail and everything. They never stop with the devilishness. Great, great. So I'm told. So I'm told. Yes, on the Harry on every stream. Somewhere in the multiverse, Keats died at 85. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Somewhere in the multiverse, Keats invented punk rock. Yes, you think I'm crazy, don't you? Because I'm just talking at nobody. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, you're trying to get out. Come on then. Come on then. Yes. Gross. Just the one. She's my limpet. Wherever I go, she follows. Yeah, I know what that's like. I know that feeling. Attached at the hip, right? Attached at the hip. Yes. We love to see Harry. Oh, look, they enjoy seeing you. You got a little fan club, mate. You got a little fan club. Yes. He's just looking up at me like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? There's no one there, Dad. Yes, I know. He just stares. He just stares at me. Yeah, somewhere in the multiverse, Keats invented punk rock, and Edgar Allan Poe was. Oh my God, we need Harry merch. Oh dear. Harry, you're starting a little fan club, mate. Yeah, yeah. He is. He's a very handsome dog. I'll give him that. Yes. What would Edgar Allan Poe be on the in the multiverse? Who would Edgar Allan Poe be in the multiverse? I would empty my pockets for Harry merch. In our house, we call that gazing. Okay, Surya is expert level at it. Okay, gazing. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It's really off-putting because I'll be like watching YouTube and he'll be at the end of the bed just staring at me. And I don't mean for like a couple of minutes. Like he will be staring at me for 15 minutes straight. And it just is, he's a crazy boy, but I love him. What would I be in the multiverse? What would I be? I would be Prime Minister. I don't know. Is that how this works? The multiverse is just the most opposite thing of you, possibly? I don't know. I would be published. Well, yeah, there's that too, right? There's that too. I would be rich and successful. What about you, Delgo? Poe would have merged his brain cybernetically and been immortal. Wow. Like a robotic, poetic Highlander. Wow. Okay. There you go. There you go, Harry. Yes. I was trying to think of what would be the opposite of Poe. Some like super evangelical, I don't know, Scientologist. I don't know. I'm just saying the first thing that comes to mind. No religion in these streams. No religion and no politics. I am breaking all my own rules. Poe would be a flower power hippie. There you go. There you go. Nikki's got it. Nikki's got it. Poe would be a flower power hippie. Or a maths teacher. There you go. Thank you for that heart. Yeah, Poe the maths teacher, the hippie maths teacher. Opposite of Poe, Jack Kerouac. Nah, they'd have agreed too much about drugs. Yeah, I feel like Jack Kerouac and Poe would actually have probably gotten along for sure. I would be young and a superhero. Oh no. You are a superhero. You're all superheroes. Sorry, Harry. I don't think Harry can have his nap because I'm talking too much and too loudly. I like Flower Power Hippie. Yeah, I was watching a documentary today on the rock and roll history of London, and there was obviously a lot of Beatles stuff and John Lennon. It was really interesting, actually. There's a cool YouTube channel, guys, called Free Free Walks, Free Walking Tours, something like that. If you put in Free Walking Tours London, you'll find it. There's a good rock and roll one. If you drink more of that Coke, you will burp. Does that worry you? I think my subscribers are used to me burping now. I have a hiatus hernia, which means a little bit of my stomach has pushed up into my gullet, so I burp a lot. It doesn't have to just be Coke, it can be anything. Anything I drink, even coffee that has no gas in it, um, makes me burp. So I've gotten very good at keeping them quiet. I can't hide them so much because I always go like this or I stop talking. But I have been burping, and if you haven't noticed, dazzle in the dark, then I did a good job, I guess. I wish I could see Poe and Rupee in a battle. Like a poetry battle or just a battle? You'd like to see them armor up and go in a field somewhere and start swinging swords. I wouldn't have to use Fiverr promotions. What do you mean? I wouldn't have to use Fiverr promotions. What do you mean? Rupee Core would be a sharp-suited this heart sharp-suited power-hungry villain with an excellent bob haircut. I kind of do you know what, guys? The more we talk about this, the more I really want to see a poetry version of Into the Spider-Verse, but the poetry version. We're gonna have to come up with a script and find an animator. I would I would I would watch that. I would watch that, even if it's just a 15-minute sort of um satire thing. I'd watch that. I wish there was a poetry video game where you could put poets against each other. Think CEO Cersei Lannister. And do you know what? The good thing about like the PC gaming community and the gaming developers, they make some out of the box stuff. So I genuinely would not be surprised if someone watched this live stream and left a comment saying, "Hey, there's a game where you can battle poets on Steam or something." I really wouldn't be surprised. So you never know. But I would definitely like to see an animated version, like an animated Into the Poetry verse or something. It doesn't have to be a full film that takes itself too seriously. But I'd like to see that. Maybe I'm just so obsessed with poetry that any kind of content to do with poetry I'd be happy with. Now I want to create this in The Sims. Oh, you should, you should have like a whole poetry neighborhood, and you can have like Shakespeare living with Marlowe and whoever. Like that would be so cool. You should do that. Pics, please. Yeah, you should do that and like either send pics or make a little video with it. Maybe I'm just way too obsessed with like poetry. I want to see poetry in everything. Oh my God, I'm going to do it. Go for it. Go for it. You could call the town Poetsville. Or is that too easy? That might be too easy. Poetsville. Oh, we were talking about this the other day, by the way, guys, and I actually picked it up. We were talking about T.S. Eliot because of the prizes and stuff, and I picked this up today. I thought it I thought this was the book of cat poems. I'm sure I had a book of cat poems. Maybe it's somewhere else, but this was my T.S. Eliot book that I found. I'm almost certain that I have a book of his cat poems as well, so that must be somewhere else that I couldn't find. But I did put out some T.S. Eliot today. Can you dedicate a whole channel to it? Yes, Nikki, this is your calling. Okay, I'm looking down the camera to you, Nikki. This is your calling. Poetsville, The Sims YouTube channel. I'm slightly concerned about the woohoo of it all. Could see some odd pairings. Ah, yes, yeah, yeah. Well, that makes it even better. You could have a poetry cove. Yes. My eyes did a funny thing where I thought you were saying a party, but you can have a poetry cove party. This is your calling, Nikki. This is it. This is what has to happen. These streams have become so wild. Let's go with the word wild. But I love it. I love you guys. I love hanging out and just chatting. As weird as it feels right now to be doing it in this setting, but we haven't had any lag or glitches, so that's good. That's something. And now we have found Nikki's calling in life, which is poetry sims. No, but I would love to see some videos, and maybe you can get some poets to fight. I'd love to see which poets you get to have a tussle in the high street. The last Sims game I played was like The Sims 3, I think. And you could like go you could it was the first time you could send your Sims out of the house and actually follow them. Like you could go to the high street and stuff. Please make Adam and Shakespeare live together. Oh, yes, please. Please make Shakespeare make him like my godfather or something. I think these are the nicest, most chill live streams on the platform. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. I like to create a chilled environment so you guys can kind of get involved and stuff, but I also understand that, it's kind of got to be on topic. But this is definitely on topic. As long as it's got poetry, it's on topic. So Poetry Sims is a go. Absolutely, Nikki. I was obsessed with medieval Sims. I don't think I played that one. Um, I still remember so vividly playing the first Sims 1. Yeah, I'm going to have to drag out my old laptop and reboot The Sims. My daughter has all the add-ons. I low-key want to make Poe spend his days tending to chickens. Can you get ravens? You might be able to get ravens. You're gonna have to get a raven. But yeah, Poe can tend to the chickens. My mind is just racing with all the different feuds and stuff that you can have in the neighborhood going. Do black chickens count? Are they in the game? I'm sure you can get. Again, this is the good thing about like PCs and stuff. I'm sure you can get a mod where you get ravens. I wonder what was that? There was that goth family, wasn't there? That was in every single Sims. I think you'd have to kill them, and you'd have to have Poe kill them and move into their like gothic mansion. That was dark. That was really dark. Wow. You can customize your animals now? Okay, cool. It's definitely moved on since I played it. I never got into mods. I probably should. I tried to get into mods. I had no idea how to install them. So it never happened for me, but there's some great stuff out there. So I think this Sims discussion clearly answers the question about does a poem end? Yeah, I think you're right, BB. We stayed on that chain of thought for a while, huh? I usually delete everyone and everything and make my own entire world. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that, but that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that the topic discussion ended pretty quickly, didn't it? I suppose I probably should have read the blog post just to see what people's chain of thought was, because obviously, clearly, a poem does end in the technical aspect of it. But yeah, you can get part ones and part twos of things as well. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. But I love that you could make Bukowski and Billy Collins live in a condo together. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the friction? I don't think those two would get on. But then again, I don't know too much. And you guys are gonna shoot me down. You guys are gonna unsubscribe in an instant. Watch that subscriber count go down. I actually don't know too much about Billy Collins. I don't know too much about Billy Collins. But he doesn't, the little that I do know, he doesn't seem like he would get on very well with Bukowski. It would be like the odd couple. I love this. You are also brilliant. Also, please add Harry. Yes, Harry Hemingway, the neighborhood Oh, I was going to be mean, but I can't be mean. Sorry, mate. We all love you. They all love you. They want Harry merch. Ooh, I need some inspo. Oddest poetry collab pairings. Oddest pairing poetry collabs. Um. Okay. Good one. Good one. Good one. Oh, what's that? Let's find a pairing for I can't think of his name, but I love him. He has the best quote ever, and I may get demonetized for this, but his quote was he was around with the beats. His quote was, "Thou shalt not be such a shit that you don't know you are one." And I can see his face. I can hear his voice. He was massive on. Actually, I don't want to say that, but he was massive on substances. Oh, I'm gonna have to Google it. Any big fan of the beats here that recognize that quote? It's not. Oh, I nearly had it. Where's my phone? I don't know where my phone is, so I can't even Google it. Where did my phone go? Oh, it's there. It's under my palm. I saw a great poetry collab at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe online a few weeks ago. William S. Burroughs, that's it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah. What a crazy guy, but awesome. Makes me smile. William S. Burroughs, that's it. The Sim wouldn't need many poets. Just make it about Byron. Yeah. He will probably populate that town pretty quick. I saw, yeah. Tell us about that collaboration. Lord Byron and Rupi Kaur collab. Oh my goodness. Interesting. But yeah, that would be quite an interesting one. That would be an interesting one. Byron was my first crush. Yeah, what a guy. Man, can you imagine living the life he lived? Whole different world. Literally, literally. I think put Shakespeare in with Atticus and then be a fly on the wall with that. You probably are somewhere in the Adam verse. There's a little bit of a delay, so you probably are somewhere in the Adam verse. I'm not sure what that was too, because there's natural with anything live, right? Although yes, it's live, there's always like uh, a 30-second delay or something. So I'm not sure what that was in reply to. I can't remember what I just said. Lord Byron, you are probably living that life. Uh, Me? I am definitely not living the life Lord Byron had. That's for sure. I can imagine Margaret Atwood would just sit at her desk with her handbag, cutting down all these flowery romantic poets with her famous wit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I would love to do one day. I'd love to kind of not get all these historic poets in one room. I don't know how I'd do that, but I would like to do um like retreats and stuff. I'd like to get poets together and do retreats and put the world to rights, you know, over a week down in some random English cottage somewhere and just write poetry for a month or whatever and just have that sort of um what do they call it? Like it's not it's a popular thing. People have done it throughout time. All these different artists, like the Beats and like the Pre-Raphaelites. That's the group that I was trying to remember a few videos before this, which was Rossetti and Dante and stuff like that. So Gabriele Dante Rossetti, I think, something like that. It was uh, they were called the Pre-Raphaelites, but they used to kind of just hang out together and make art and stuff. I'd love to do that at some point. I can imagine, yeah, Frankenstein was inspired by Byron. Yeah, that rings a bell actually. I know they were all around together. There was something about Percy Shelley and Lord Byron and a castle overlooking the sea. There's a story there. I can't remember. I watched a documentary a while ago. I'm sure there was some hanky panky involved. Not between those two. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to find the documentary again. It was hosted by a famous 90s actor who got on my nerves quite a lot. Nikki, I cannot express the level at which you have me roaring. Hey, Danny, welcome, 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 welcome. Hey, Mitchell, welcome to the live stream. We're about to go for break, but don't worry because we're going to be back and we're going to talk about the hardest part about poetry. I saw a house auction listing in Ilfracombe. Ilfracombe, am I saying that right? And my first thought was it would make an amazing writing retreat location. One day when one of us is rich and famous, we should do it. Yeah, I really want to do that at some point. I really envision like getting a band of poets together and just disappearing for 3 weeks maybe and just kind of living together and just writing poetry all day every day and just doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, they all stayed together for a while. Think all three hooked up. Oh, maybe I remembered it right then. Maybe I remembered it right. Oh my God, did we miss Harry? You did, but he's right here. He's right here. I think he's asleep though. He's breathing very heavily. No, his eyes are awake. He's awake. He's right here. I'll bring him on stream again at some point, but I've already disturbed him once. Okay, let's take a quick 5 minute break. Now seems like a good time. We've spoken a little bit about kind of Poem End and a lot about Sims because we're awesome. But yes, Nikki is going to make a Poetry Town Sims. But let's break for 5 minutes. Let me grab another drink. You know how it is. And then when we get back, we will talk about the hardest part about poetry. So, see you in a jiffy. See you in 5 minutes, guys. Okay, we're back. We're back. I thought I'd quickly get Mr. Harry back on stream just for Danny and Mitchell. But I don't know if you can see him. Okay, cool. Welcome back. Welcome back. So I do have a topic for part two, but we probably only spend a couple of minutes on it and then end up talking about the Spider-Verse or Sims, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So I will just kind of wait a couple minutes as I normally do just to see if we are all back from break. Are we all met? Harry, yes. Cute. You're getting all the attention tonight, mister. Yes, you are. Yeah, they like you. Oh, hi, Harry. On the break, I went right back to the beginning to see him. He's doing this. He's gazing. He's gazing at me. He's just looking at me like a crazy man. Harry is a handsome boy. He sure is. He sure is. Sarah was watching Harry. She was very interested. Yes, he's an eligible bachelor. Yes. So I think we're pretty much all here. We're all met. So if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, guys. We are now our next target is 20. So if you're enjoying it, do hit that like button. Do help the channel. Oh, sorry, I just smacked Harry in the face because he's getting all excited at Dad talking to nobody. Of course, I'm talking to you guys, but he doesn't know that. Yeah, so hit that like button. Even if you're watching playback, hit that like button. Let's keep growing the channel. We are doing really, really well. I know you guys are sharing the channel with your own followers and your own contacts. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you spreading the word. Um, our subscribers are going up so much each live stream. No, it's that way, isn't it? Each live stream abuse. I know, I'm sorry. I was talking with my hands and he sort of poked his head up and I sponked him on the nose. My bad, my bad, my bad. But yeah, the channel's doing really, really well. So thank you so much. Also, if anyone found out why or who shared the channel, someone shared our channel on the 7th of January and they must have shared it somewhere popular because we had 11,500 just in one day, 11,500 impressions. So someone shared the channel somewhere. I just hope it was a good thing and it wasn't someone slating me. But if it was someone slating me, oh well, such is life. C'est la vie. So let's talk about the hardest part of poetry. What do we think the hardest part of poetry is? Everyone here is going to have a different answer, which is why I thought it was a good topic to bring to the table. What's the hardest part of poetry? Is it the writing of it? Is it the inspiration and lack of for some people, myself, the lack of being inspired to write a poem? Is it the crafting of it? Perhaps, for some it's the getting on the career path of it. So like getting published, getting performances and readings and stuff like that. What's the hardest part of poetry for you guys? And again, if you're watching and you haven't taken part in one of these live streams before, I do encourage you to do so. We don't bite. We're a nice group of poets. We love seeing new faces. We obviously love seeing returning faces as well. I think we've got a nice little group and you're always welcome to join that group. So if you're watching and you haven't taken part before, please do feel encouraged to do so. What's the hardest part of poetry? If they were slating you or the lives, I think there would be some trolling in the chat. Yeah, for sure. It was more likely a positive share. Yeah, no, I get that feeling too. I get that feeling too. You're probably right. Hardest part? Sharing it. Interesting. The hardest part is sharing it. You know, I consider myself quite lucky in the sense that I've never really felt embarrassed to share anything. I've always felt quite okay with sharing my my poems and my videos. Yeah, it took me a, a couple of goes to get comfortable in front of the camera, and you know, sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but for the most part, I've never really sort of thought, should I share this poem? It's not necessarily a good thing. I find it hard to put my feelings into words or getting the right words to use. Good evening, Doom Guy. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining us. We are talking about the hardest part of poetry. It's good to see a new face. So I'm glad you felt encouraged to join us. Good evening. Open mic. No, that's part of your name. Garage Poets. Was it the plagiarism stream? I'm lost on that one. Just refresh my memory what that is in reply to. My memory's not the best, is it? But because again, like I said to BB in part one, because there's like a 30-second delay and I'm constantly talking, I kind of forget what's it in reply to what. I think perhaps I take people not liking or understanding. Oh, I see. Was it the plagiarism? You mean the impression, the hike in impressions? Possibly, possibly, but that didn't get. Maybe I have to go back. Maybe I got. Uh, I think a lot of people started unsubscribing when I published that video. I'll have to go through my analytics, but I don't think that plagiarism live stream has that many views. The stream that got a lot of views. No, so it didn't get a lot of views, it got a lot of impressions. So what what impressions are Eh, um, so an impression, every time you see the thumbnail of my video, that's an impression. So they count how many times you see the thumbnail of my video. Whether you click and watch it or not, that would class it as an impression. So as I say, someone shared it somewhere. Yeah, that's an impression. So 11,500 impressions, not necessarily views, but it could be. Maybe someone saw that and thought, I need to share this. That's a good point. I think perhaps I take people not liking or understanding my work as an attack on me personally, which is a me issue, not a them issue. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. I think I do that too sometimes. If someone doesn't like my poem, I feel like I am not very good as a poet, but that's not necessarily true. So Mitchell really relate to that. I've submitted a poem to the National Poetry Competition. Nice, congrats, well done. Spent 10 years rewriting it. Wow, finally finished it and submitted it. Now I occasionally think I can improve it still. Wow, okay, 10 years. That's impressive. Working on a poem for 10 years. Best of luck to you, Doom Guy, by the way. I'm still fighting the urge to rewrite it again. It's this constant belief that what I write isn't good enough. That's that can be yeah, that can be a tough one, can't it? And I think we've spoken about it before in one of these live streams of like knowing when to leave the poem alone and walking away is so tough. And I think we can get attached to poems as well, right? You can get attached to a poem where you don't want to finish it because you love it so much and it means so much to you. But I wish you all the best with the National Poetry Competition. That's actually a really great point because that kind of ties in very well with the topic that we had for part one, which was, can a poem really end? Can a poem really truly end? Or do you get to a point where you're like, okay, I have to stop now, and conclude it and move on? I did a performance on local radio. There's a video of it on YouTube. Awesome. Was this recently, or was this recently? Also, if you haven't already, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. We got 14 viewers and only 13 likes. So if you haven't liked it yet, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel, um, particularly not just in general, which it does in general, but particularly when this live stream finishes and it gets uploaded as a playback. The more likes it has, the better it will do. So if you're enjoying this, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. I saw that Garage Poet. Great job on that. Absolutely. And I have so many still to actually work on and finish. And I'm trying to build up my work to make a collection to publish. But I keep going back to what I've written already. And thank you. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough to kind of um know when to move on. Um as I say, particularly if you get like really attached to the poem or the subject matter, it's hard to kind of move on and say to yourself, okay, this poem is done. And interestingly, I believe someone here, possibly, or someone, I was talking to someone recently, which must mean it was a live stream because I don't talk to many people very often. I'm working on that. I'm working on that. I'm trying to get out to poetry events and stuff. So it must have been a live stream. Um, didn't someone at some point say that they know someone that doesn't edit their poetry at all? I believe someone here said that. Yes, it's recent. The video just came out. That's awesome. Congratulations on that opportunity, man. Did someone in a recent live stream tell me that they know someone who doesn't edit their poetry at all? That was me. Okay, I thought so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's like the other end of this spectrum, isn't it? Where you don't edit it at all. You kind of write it and it's done and it's out there. Like I say, I wrote a poem today, but I can't imagine that was just me kind of getting it out of my system. I have to go back and edit that. And I don't even know if a single word of that first draft is even gonna be in the final draft. But you got to find a middle ground, right? You got to be able to kind of edit it and then know, okay, I need to walk away. And I have so many still. Yeah, awesome. I'm happy you like it. That was me. I have a problem with readings. I always find my readings to be less clean than either my poem or the videos I make them into. What do you mean by less clean, Todd? That was on the last stream, I think. Yeah, I thought so. See, I couldn't do that. I wish I could, but I can't. And Allen Ginsberg came not to believe in editing. Oh, really? Yeah, that's a beat thing. I don't think Kerouac ever edited it either. He's really open about it. It's Robert Cozy. Okay, I write almost stream of consciousness, but the edit, what makes it a poem. The only time I came close was a few months ago when I wrote a poem during a feeling of melancholy. Even then, I edited it a few times. I tend to edit my poems 2 or 3 times, and then I find that anymore I end up losing the emotional essence of the poem. But sometimes, there have been poems where I've edited very little as well. And there are stories, sometimes inspiration and creativity and everything just falls in line. There are stories by multiple musicians, Ed Sheeran being the one that comes to mind, that I've watched a documentary most recently where he says it, and songs kind of just write themselves, and there are like number one hit songs that were written in 10-15 minutes. That does happen if you're very, very lucky and inspiration hits. But I think, yeah, I think the ideal scenario is somewhere in between, somewhere in the middle. I wish I could write like Kerouac and not edit. You and me both, Doom Guy, you and me both. Less clean, I misspeak, or sound too monotone, or something else I don't like. Uh, well, you can always do different takes. You can always do different takes and read. If you really kind of want to spend the time with it, if you have the time, some people don't have the time. If you really have the time and patience, you can always do multiple takes of each line. I don't know that I'd recommend doing it line by line. That's how movies are made, right? And animations and stuff. Sorry, guys. I remember watching something about Toy Story and Tom Hanks recording 30 different versions of each line. That's how that's done. I don't know that I would recommend that for poetry. The way I do mine, I tend to record the whole poem, the whole poem, 3 or 4 times. I record it, then I listen to it back and I think, no, that's not right, quite right. So I delete the whole track. I don't even like tempt myself to cut corners. I delete the whole track and I'll just record the whole poem, as I say, 3 or 4 times until I finally found my groove. And then maybe I'll record one line a little bit better and insert that. So again, it kind of depends on how much time you want to spend on it. I use a program called Audible. It's completely free. It's completely free. And I originally bought this microphone. I originally bought that microphone to record the Early Hours album. Now I use it for streaming as well. But you want to get yourself a studio condenser mic. It doesn't have to be a Blue Yeti, but they are good. A lot of microphones around nowadays are called Shure microphones. It's what all the big podcasts use. SURE, Shure. But a Blue Yeti microphone will do it. The Beat Poets Not Editing is mythos they created to romanticize their work. Okay. Didn't Kerouac write on the road on one whole sheet of paper, though? I'm sure that's in like the Kerouac Museum. But I suppose it's not poetry. But yeah, I always thought he wrote on the road on one long sheet of paper. Oh, Todd, I just looked to see if I was following you here. I do. I really love your videos. The idea that words just flow and come out perfectly is a myth. The trad published have editors. The traditionally published have editors, and people write drafts of their work. Yep. Your first draft shouldn't be compared to someone's fourth or fifth. Yep. Absolutely. And that goes for poetry as well. Uh, you know, people who publish poetry have editors that work on their stuff. So always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. And I don't say that so that you're not comparing yourself, because never compare yourself to other people. I say that and I never take my own advice, and you guys know I don't. But you should technically never compare yourself to anyone else. Also, just keep in mind when you're self-publishing, it's wise to bring in an editor if you can afford to do so. They don't come cheap. So don't beat yourself up if you can't, because they don't come cheap. I found that hello tea slippers, another new face. Welcome to the live stream. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for taking part in the chat. I found that I wrote for a period every day, then left them for almost a year. I then rediscovered them and was able to edit loosely. I then put them into a small poetry book and self-published it. Excellent. That's a great story. And that just goes to show how powerful it is when I say, put it away and come back to it. Put it away, come back. Um, that reminded me of something, but I've forgotten. I was going to say something, but now. Oh, yeah, there was a time when I don't know if Tanya's still here. Um, but if you're still here, Tanya, there was that time on Patreon when I was writing a collection of poetry every month. I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. I've still got a couple of those collections in my bottom drawer. I'll have to go back and probably cringe. I don't know how I could, when I say collection, they were like 20, they weren't collections, they were pamphlets. They were like 25 poems a month. But still, I don't know how I was doing that. No wonder I burnt myself out. Yes, he did, but he did it a whole bunch of times and edited it along the way. What people think of as his first draft was really his 15th time doing it, give or take. I did not know that. High tea slippers. Hemingway wrote the first half of one of his novels a lot. I can't remember which one either. The Sun Also Rises or A Farewell to Arms. Yeah, this all just goes to show that go easy on yourselves. Go easy on yourselves. Nikki, I know you beat yourself up a lot because you've been working on your novel for a while, I think you said. But this just goes to show, like, you're in good company. We all do it. We all do it. Don't worry too much. High tea slippers. I think I wrote Dancing with the Devil 4 or 5 times till it got to where it is now. Took me a good 2, maybe 3 years, I think. I wish I kept the first draft so I could look back and see improvements. There you go, guys. There you go. So I think this is actually good to see about good to see people um I think this is good. Spit it out, Adam. I think it's good for there you go. I think it's good for people to see that we spend time on our work and that's how it's supposed to be. So don't feel bad, Doom Guy, don't feel bad that it took you 10 years to to finish that poem you submitted to the national poetry competition. Nikki, don't beat yourself up that you've been working on your novel I'm not sure how long you've been working on it, but I know you said you've been working on it for a while. It's normal, guys, and it's good. That's how it's supposed to be. But yes, the power of putting it down and walking away and leaving it alone is important. That's great, Nikki. Really good that you're almost ready to release too. Yeah, I must have missed something in the chat, but yeah, that's awesome. I did similar. I wrote every day in lockdown. I'm editing to release a collection now. Great to hear a similar story. Yeah, guys. There you go. See, this is what these streams are all about. We're all in good company. I need an editor to help me with the order of the poems in the collection I'm working on. Yeah, that's also something to be considered as well. Um, the order of the poems. Sorry, guys. Sorry. That's also something you should be considering when putting a collection together is the order of which your poems um, are ordered. I've been working on one novel for 15 years, another for nearly 10. A few others range for 2 to 5. I hit a wall and just can't get any words down. No idea what causes it. You know? Oh, I don't know. I've been reading a book. I'm no psychologist. I'm no therapist. I'm no professional in any sense. But I have been reading this book, The Mountain Is You. Put it that side. The Mountain Is You. And it kind of just talks about things we do subconsciously. And you might find that book helpful. I don't know. I don't know you well enough, Nikki, but it certainly kind of shed some light on things that I do, for sure. So just things like what is coined in there is uprooting. I always uproot, which is so I'm not gonna psychoanalyze myself either on live stream, but it's very interesting, and it might not be anything to do with what's spoken about in the book, but it might be. So check it out if you want to. The Mountain Is You, it's called. If you figure it out, please let me know. I'm stuck on mine. Did I just go off on some weird thing? I don't know. All I'm saying is it's helping me in realizing things that I do. Um, so it might be that, or it might just be something else. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just went on a weird tangent, but never mind. I also want to get better at performing my work, being that I'm more of a freestyle poet. Are there a good open online mic event? Um, I also want to get better at performing my work. I do some performing classes. If you want to check out the academy at the Poetry Cove, yeah. Are there any good open online mic events? Garage Poets has an open mic. I know that much. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find a few. Whereabouts are you based? During lockdown, depending on where you're based, I can maybe suggest a few. But a quick Google search will help, I'm sure. I know Garage Poets has one. During lockdown, I wrote a lot of stuff, some of which was perhaps usable, but it's all raw material. And since then, I've been trying to turn that raw material, excuse me, into something, but it's proven difficult. Yeah, yeah. It's like the old sort of symbolism, isn't it, of like a statue, right? Every statue is a block of whatever material until someone sort of chips away and refines it and refines it and refines it until it's that beautiful work of art. But the main thing is that you sat down and wrote and you've got something to work with. I'll definitely look into that book. I learned some stuff in therapy regarding destructive behaviors, but trying to apply that to writing isn't proving effective. I'm not going to go into too much detail for both of our sakes, but there are some interesting stuff in that book that I think might give you food for thought. It might not, I don't know, but I would suggest checking it out, even just for a good bit of reading, an interesting bit of reading. I know there are some on Insta Garage Poets might know about here. Not on a tangent, I understood what you were saying. Cool. Come to my open mic. Danny, just shared your channel, Adam. Hope it helps. Thank you so much, Danny. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you guys are really killing it. I have the best subscribers ever. Thank you so much. Fantastic. I'm based in Worcester, UK. Okay. UK open mics. UK open mics. I mean, if you're doing them online, I tell you what is a website to check out. Anyone in the UK should check out Write Out Loud. I'll put it in the chat. Write Out Loud. It's a website with tons of poetry event listings and stuff like that. There may be a US equivalent as well, but I know these guys. I know the guy that runs like the news and stuff. He used to run my local open mic. But there's a load of stuff on there. So hopefully that will help. Sounds like you need the Poetry Cove. Nikki, I've heard of that place. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check out the poetrycove.com as well. Maybe we'll get back to doing open mics. Thanks, guys. I'm a member, but I haven't posted yet. Procrastination Central here. Well, when you're ready, Doom Guy, we will be happy to welcome you. There's been some poems shared in the Share Your Poetry section lately, by the way, guys. Do go and check out the Share Your Poetry section, Nikki and BB. And anyone else who wants to become a member, of course, there is. Oh, Beehive in England. Okay, I've not heard of that one. Beehive. Oh, wait, did I miss a joke? I'm just trying to. I see there's some laughing emojis, so maybe I missed. Maybe that's a joke. I thought Beehive. Maybe I missed that. My laptop's gonna die. That's better. Far healthier option. Sorry, Beehive. I'll go and have a look. Beehive. That rings a bell, actually. If that's not a joke, I feel like that rings a bell. I feel like I know someone who posted about them performing there next week, actually. No, that was my fault. I thought, oh, Beehive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good old Austin Powers. Well, it's a real open mic. I'm sure I'm sure Daniel, who's a poet we spotlighted at the Poetry Cove magazine, I'm sure he posted that he's reading there next week. Energy saver turned on. Okay, that's something. Also, you have Verve Poetry Festival coming up at the end of next month. I will be there all weekend, and I'm fairly confident in saying that they're going to try and do a 24, not a 24, a whole day open mic, which is interesting. It's on Facebook. Clive Osman runs it, I think. Okay. Yes, battery saver is on. Oh no, my battery's going to die. 19%. We might be okay. Maybe not then. Maybe not if it's a Facebook thing and not a venue. Maybe my brain is just imagining things. 16 likes, guys. We only need 4 more likes to hit our target of 20. So if you're watching and you haven't liked already, please do hit that like button. There's an open mic group near me in Salisbury called Poetica People. I've been meaning to go for a few years now. Never mustered up the courage. So I'm in the same boat right now. I'm promised myself that this would be the year that I really kind of make it out into the poetry community, the real world one. Most of my stuff up until now has been online. Not all of it, but for the most part. So this is the year that I kind of go out to open mics, events, which I've been starting to do anyway. So all is good. I'm currently stuck at writing my second poem, to be honest, struggling with finding the right layout, words, everything really. Um, and having much time to think, let alone write, doesn't help. Yeah. My biggest advice to you would be don't put too much pressure on yourself. It'll happen. It will come. It will happen, I promise you. But it's getting there really slowly. It will manifest itself. Don't worry. It will materialize. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks so much. Yeah, of course, of course. It's a venue, but hybrid also online. Okay, okay. You know what? I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. I keep losing my phone. Does anyone else do this? I just had it a second ago. There it is. I'm gonna find out once and for all. I'm certain he posted about the beehive, but it was a story, so it might not be. Ah, it was a story, so it's not on his profile anymore. But I'm. Oh, I completely lied. I completely lied. It's called Dulcimer Bar. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me. It's called Dulcimer Bar. Yep, I'm talking a load of nonsense. Never mind. I could have sworn he said beehive, but maybe my brain just wanted to make that connection. The brain is a funny thing. Keep doing that, and now my poetry is getting wet. I've never performed live. I need to grow in courage too. You'll get there. You'll get there. And the more you do it, the more natural it'll feel. It will be that first couple of times that will feel uncomfortable, nerve-wracking. But the more you do it, I promise you, the more you do it, the more natural it will feel until before you know it, it's completely fine. It's nothing. You don't even think about it. Just like, when I started doing YouTube for the first time, it felt really weird to be talking to a camera. The first time I did a live stream, I was really nervous that no one would turn up and that I wouldn't know how to fill 2 hours. Now, 2 hours goes so quickly, and okay, I'm lucky because I got awesome people subscribing and watching and taking part. But I promise you, uh, just jump in, do it, and the more you do it, the easier it will be. Try a writing group before an open mic night is a more intimate environment. You're usually round a table. You're usually round a table rather than on a stage. It's a good stepping stone. Yeah, yeah. It just Sorry, guys. There's a good point there as well. Rather than kind of going to the busiest open mic night you can find, just start off small. And you got some awesome people around you right now, so keep coming back to live streams and talking about poetry, and just being part of the poetry community will help. The people here at these live streams are really awesome, so try to get to know them. They'll encourage you. The hardest part of a formal poem to me is getting the first line, then deciding what form the poem ought to be. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point as well. Sometimes you're really lucky and the first line will just scream at you and it be like, I'm here, put me on the page. But sometimes you really gotta sit there and consider what that opening looks like. Have you heard of Arthur L. Wood, poet from the Shire? We keeping you up, mate? I know, I'm sorry. Every stream, it's so bad. It's because I wake up at stupid hours in the morning and get tired by 7. I have not heard of Arthur L. Wood, poet from the Shire. Are we talking like the Shire? The Tolkien Shire? Or did I just make myself sound stupid? No, I haven't heard of Arthur L. Wood, or if formal or free verse. Yeah, that's kind of the what you just described in both messages. That's exactly the issue I had with this poem that I wrote today. I knew what I wanted to say. I knew the title of the piece. I knew what the themes were, but I didn't know whether I was going to put it in a form. I didn't, I didn't know if I was going to put it in a form. I didn't know if there was going to be a rhyme scheme. I didn't know anything. In the end, I kind of just typed everything that came to mind. It was a waffle fest, as I told BB earlier. It was a waffle fest. And that, but now I've got something. Now I've got something I can work with, or maybe I just needed to get it out of my system and I never pick it up again. But there it is. Look at all those hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Wow. Do you remember all of your lines, or do you have your phone notes with you? I feel I'd want to get to the stage where I've logged it to memory. That's the best thing to do. That's the best thing to do. I've never memorized a poem. I use my, if you don't know, I used to be in acting, and obviously you learn lines there. I am gonna, moving forward, I am going to learn my poems. Yes, that's the best way for it to be performed, but also I've kind of, I could have been, I wasn't, but I could have easily been in a position a couple of weeks ago when I could have gone to this Windsor open mic. I believe we spoke about it. I know Nikki said you spend some time there. And they said, oh, potentially we might invite you up for a reading, depending on how the night goes, right? So if you memorize your poems, you'll never be surprised if someone comes up and says, oh, would you mind, reading us a poem, performing a poem? If you haven't got any of your poems memorized, then the only answer you can give is no, unless you've got poems on your phone. But if you've got them memorized, you can always, you know, um, you can always give a reading or perform if you've at least got one or two memorized. Yeah. Really glad to be here. Good to have you here. Mitchell, it's easier said than done. If you're not looking to create to post, don't worry too much about form, etc. Just find your own style and voice. The rest will come with practice. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've literally just discussed the fact that, there's no time limit on these things. So take it easy. It's all good. No, he's from Oxfordshire, I think, which technically is the Shire. He reads poetry and writes his own. That's awesome. He performs Byron, Keats. Wow. Okay, and his own. Awesome. Waffle Fest is hilarious and delicious. Delicious. I'm from Hertfordshire. There's a few shires. Yeah, not here. Not heard of him, but we'll check him out. Yeah, definitely. Waffle Fest, Adam's new poetry festival. There you go. Maybe not the best title to bring people in, Waffle Fest, but yeah, maybe one day. That needs to go into the Sims game, Nikki. Yeah, there you go. Poetryville and Waffle Fest. I'm traveling to Maidenhead and Windsor fairly regularly to visit relatives. If I can, I'll check out the open mic. Yeah, definitely. The next one. So it's the second and fourth Thursday of every month. How are we doing on battery? Because I don't have my laptop charger with me, so 14%. We're okay. We can get by. We need a waffle making store and a chef's hat and a waffle fest apron. We do get into some random discussions, don't we, Harry? We guys, we get into some random conversations, don't we? I had that exact thought, Sims. I can't wait for this Sims channel. Tanya, must go. Company just arrived to watch our beloved Detroit Lions play football. It's the playoffs. Until next live stream, my friends. Tanya, thank you so much for being here. Rest up. Keep that uh yeah, keep that arm rested, and I'll see you on the next live stream. I'm totally writing a waffle poem for the forum. Go for it, go for it, go for it. And check out the share your poetry section as well, guys. Go Lions. Nikki, I'm kind of just writing in the background. I got a lot going on, but when I can, I try to jot down a few lines at least. I'm sure I'll find my style eventually. Thank you for the advice, help. Yeah, man. If you're just writing to kind of express yourself, and not necessarily working towards deadlines and stuff like that. Just take it easy. It'll come. Trust me, it will. It will. It'll all come together. I think I'm gonna sign off in a few moments, guys. Maybe in 4 minutes. We'll give it another 4 minutes. But it feels like the stream has kind of nicely concluded. My battery's gonna die. Um, so I think, yeah, maybe in 4 minutes or so, we'll just start winding it down. But it's been great to see so many new faces. Thank you so much for you know being encouraged and taking part in the chat. It's always great to see new faces. The people that take part in these streams regularly are a really good bunch. They will look after you and they'll welcome you. So it was good to see you guys. Hopefully we see you again in future live streams. I know it's difficult because there are so many different time zones and stuff, but yeah. Hey Adam, somewhat completely off topic, but do you have any ghost hunts lined up for this year? Do you know what, guys? I really love making those videos, but they're so difficult to make. Like you have no idea. They're so difficult to um organize. The first season were all outside, and it's difficult to make those kind of videos because there are so many external factors at play. Most of the time, I was more concerned about the fact that I might get robbed of my big camera equipment than I was of any paranormal activity and stuff. Then in season two, I went to the hotel in Torquay, which was amazing, but it was so costly. Like you pay for the hotel room, the petrol. What was it? It was just over 2 hours drive each way, so more than 4 hours. So they're really difficult to make, and then they don't really kind of get the interaction that I'd hoped for, like the likes and the comments and stuff. But come October time, I'm sure I'll be in my Halloween spirits, and I'll film a couple more. I was so close to filming a episode with Dylan Thomas. I think I said this on the channel already once before, but I actually reached out to the Dylan Thomas birthplace, which is where he was born and spent the first part of his life, and they were receptive to the idea, but I never got back to them, so it's my fault. But yeah, I'm sure come October I'll start thinking about shooting them again. But they are so difficult to make, and they take a long time to put together. So we'll see, we'll see. I always seem to rewrite it down at work. Then when it comes to typing it up on my notes, I reword it and refine it. But as soon as I have a thought, I try and write it down as soon as possible. Yeah, and that's super important to do. Otherwise, you end up forgetting it and kicking yourself for not writing it down sooner. Adam, I'll get you in overnight at work and we'll do it together. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I love scaring myself. I love the paranormal and I love the adrenaline, so I'm always up for it. But the videos do take a lot to make, a lot of effort. And on that note, guys, I think I'll say good night. Thank you so much for hanging out and spending 2 hours with me on a Sunday evening. Thank you so much for getting involved. We had quite the discussion. We're going to wait on Nikki to create her little poetry Sims town. Um, and yeah, I'll see you hopefully all in the comment section of Tuesday's video. But if not, I'll see you on Thursday. That's a shame. Fingers crossed something comes up for you to carry on with them. Yeah, I do really enjoy them. Was that Jamaica Inn? No, although I have been to Jamaica Inn, but I do. This channel is purely all poetry, but I do try and think outside the box and combine my two passions and what have you. So I made a couple of ghost hunting videos centered around poets and stuff. If you go to the channel and just scroll down, there's a playlist. They're called On the Hunt. So look out for videos that are titled On the Hunt. Mitchell, that's brilliant. Sounds like you've got some good methods in place that are working for you right now. Yes. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodnight. Much love. Thank you so much for being here as always. And I will, as I said, I will catch you on Tuesday's comment section. If I'm lucky, hopefully you guys will be there. If not, Thursday's live stream. So thank you very much, guys, and have a good evening.